What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Motoman Dan, and today we're going to talk about Bank of Archers. Long-range units committed to defending Order Rifts. Deals physical damage, war scenarios only. This is our first in the line of them. This is our first war scenario trap. Not the first one you unlock, but the first one that we see in the list alphabetically. War scenario traps can only be used on war scenarios, and most of them can only be placed outdoors, whereas the only one that can be placed indoors is the giant flip trap with the unique upgrade. So we'll get to that when we get to it. Also to note, some the war scenario traps can affect enemies inside. They just can't be placed inside. So the Bank of Archers can shoot inside of it. They just can't be placed there. So we have two unique upgrades. There's no level or special upgrades for these guys. The two unique upgrades is deals fire damage or fires an additional volley of arrows. We'll take a look at that. You gotta deal 5,000 damage in order to upgrade it, which really you just place a couple of them. And the first one that you unlock it, which you unlock it at front lawn, and you just spam them and you'll get that 5,000 damage in no time. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the game files. So the first thing to note is the primary damage is 100. Then I believe it's per arrow, I think. Yeah, I think that's right. Should be. Yeah, okay. Arrows per guardian is 2. They have 1 volley, so they fire 1 shot and 2 arrows come out of that. You have a distribution radius of 750, so each archer individually will target an enemy, and it will land somewhere within 5 grid squares of that enemy, to include on top of that enemy from wherever they think that they're going to be going. So you know, there's definitely mischance here, but it looks really cool. A grid square, as I will mention in every video, in case it's the only video you're watching the deep dive content, is the size of 1 regular guardian archer. So if you put 5 of them, you know, across and up and down within like a circle radius there, that will be the distribution of the shot itself. So one of the trap protos. In the trap protos, we see it has a 4-second cooldown. That trigger duration is 2.05, and the trigger delay is 0.1. Trigger delay doesn't really matter because it is a sensing trap, meaning it has to target an enemy, and that is how it fires. Its sight radius is 10,000 with a minimum of 1,300, so they have to at least be within 1,300 before, but it does have a sight radius of 10,000, so it'll start firing at that point. 10,000 sight radius is, as we all know, it's going to be divisible by 150. It's going to be 66.6 or 67 grid squares. Again, grid squares are size of a guardian archer, a regular one. Each archer has 70 health, and the entire trap costs 2750. Really good bang for your buck. Okay. And like I said, you do unlock it at front lawn whenever you get to front lawn as well. That's really all there is to know about them from that perspective. Let's go into the upgrades. The Bank of Archer unique upgrade deals fire damage, allows it to get the fire burn property. So it'll do fire damage and it'll allow burn. Burning, as always, is or generally always is 4 seconds, 20% slow, 7 damage a second. The other unique upgrade is the fires an additional volley of arrows. It costs 8 skulls. The other one also costs 8 skulls. Volley count is +1, so you're going from 1 volley of arrow to another volley of arrow, which adds an additional 22 arrows, right? Because you have 1 volley is, and let's take a look at that again here. So you have 1 volley, which is 2 arrows per. So you'll have 2 volleys, which is going to be a total of 4 arrows per. There's 11 archers, which is going to go 44 arrows instead of 22 arrows. So doubling the damage output that they have. And then you have this. You have the modified trap cooldown. So the modified trap cooldown allows them to fire. I think it makes it slower. Yeah, that's a positive number. So it's going to increase the time between, because that additional volley that they're going to fire takes up that 0.65 seconds, and so it doesn't really technically reduce the cooldown because the animation is extended. It just makes the animation make sense within the cooldown that it has. So that's what the 0.65 thing is, as a positive value. And that's it. That's really all there is. Let's go ahead and jump into a game and take a look at the bank. Oh, I'm sorry. The unique upgrades. Which one do I run? I run both, depending on the map, if I ever use them. I typically don't use war scenario traps, but if I do, depends on the map. Usually front lawn is a really good place to use them, and lava pits, both of those fire damage, because there's just not any fire immune enemies, and all the enemies that come out are weak to fire, so they take bonus damage. So when they do get hit, they definitely get dead, but it could, you could really run either. For this, we're going to run the fires and additional volley of arrows, so I can show you what that looks like. All right, guys, so we are on Rift Lord difficulty, which means we're not going to have these archers regenerate or come back. Yeah, okay, good. So it is true that they do regenerate after they are dead, so they are also pretty good decoys. Because there's so many of them, and they can fire. However, they don't really fire close range very well, so we still need to use plenty of regular decoy archers instead of the war scenario decoy archers. By decoy archers, I call them decoys because they're better at being a decoy than the decoy trap itself. So that's why I call them decoy archers. But otherwise, you can see how good they are and just how much they slaughter. They are very, very strong. And I highly recommend using them if you're struggling on a war scenario. They can be used really well on pretty much all of them, actually. Yeah, like I said, they can fire into a place as well. So yeah, I'd maybe recommend this. If not, if you're gonna run any one war scenario trap, it might be the Guardian Archer. If you're gonna run one of them, other than like maybe the War Tower. But for this reason, I mean, there's so much damage in an area. So yeah, this is really good, and they have such long range that they affect a lot of things. So it's good stuff. Anyways, guys, as always, if you've liked the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow us on YouTube and Twitch, and I'll see you on the flip side. Deuces.